Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 25th of 2023, and given that there's a lot of things happening between Iger and the board of directors, between their live-action remakes, the parks, the merchandise, and everything revolving around the recent box office failures of many different franchises out there, Bob Iger is really not in a good position right now, and given that everything that has happened, with the Disney stock meeting an all-time low of 9 years, that's just the beginning of everything that they are anticipating for next year and beyond. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that everything ranging between Iger and the board has been an ongoing struggle. We know that some board members want to, of course, course correct, which, by the way, are the minority. The majority want to double down and up the ante of their DEI agenda. All the diversity and equity nonsense that keeps ruining many franchises out there. Now, we know that there's been a lot of things going on with Bob Iger and his cost-cutting plan, his cost containment plan, so to speak, that is going into full swing, not just for Marvel, Star Wars, etc., but also for just Disney in general. This is also going to impact the up-and-coming live-action remakes and just whatever general Disney content that is going to arrive in theaters and or on Disney+. Now, moving onwards here, this is where things begin to get quite intriguing. Now, we know that everything ranging from Disney parks to the merchandise that are lacking, we know that Bob Iger also has other plans. Now, with Disney preparing to continue their DEI agenda regardless of what happened in the state of Florida, this is mapped out to deeply impact their upcoming live-action remakes. However, one big plan that Disney has in store is going to, without a doubt, take a big hit on the company, which has to do with the upcoming Hercules remake, directed by Guy Ritchie. Now, Disney is now planning to make this into a Meg-focused film, while making Hercules a secondary character. Now, Guy Ritchie and the creatives are also planning on taking away the story of Hercules becoming a demigod in the movie, a core aspect of the original animated film and the mythology, mind you. Now, another approach for this film that will create more backlash, without a doubt, is that the character Hades will be reinvented by Guy Ritchie as greenlit by the Disney higher-ups. Much like Snow White 2024, Hercules is going to be a reimagining of the late 90s classic animated version. Right now, Disney is eyeing both Ariana Grande and Aubrey Plaza to portray Meg, while Taron Egerton and Patrick Schwarzenegger are the two top contenders to play Hercules. Now, let me stop here. Now, we talked about the casting decisions that they are going over right now. They have top candidates. Now, both, like I said before, Grande and Plaza are aimed to be Meg, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is, yes, the son of Arnold, and Taron Egerton are set to play Hercules. That's basically what Disney is aiming at right now. That's basically the approach. Now, that's not the big concern. I'm not so concerned about the casting per se. What I am concerned about is how they are upping the ante on the DEI nonsense and throwing it into Hercules, but they're also planning on taking away the core element of making him a demigod, which makes absolutely no sense and is going to create a bigger backlash that I feel could very well be on par with Snow White 2024. This is just as bad as them ditching the Seven Dwarfs in the up-and-coming live-action remake. And the fact that they want to make it a Meg-focused film instead of a Hercules-focused film just goes to tell you everything about what Iger and the board are doing with, of course, this live-action remake. Now, just be aware, there's no release date planned for this film, nor are there any plans for any kind of announcement of the release date for D23. This movie is still on a bit of a standstill, but they do generally want to get this out by either 2025 or 2026. That would mean that, they would have to get the ball rolling by next year really fast. So that's where things come into full motion here, as this is also going to impact other live-action remakes. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And this is without a doubt, I feel, going to take a big hit on Disney as a company. Snow White is just the beginning. I always said that that movie is going to be quite ironic because it could very well all have started from that film back in 1937 and end in 2024 as far as the quality of films go, right? So moving onwards, however, Disney is not only looking to reinvent Hades, they also want to make him purely CGI, unlike how Will Smith actually played the genie with CGI mixed in. Hades is planned to be a pure animated design with voiceover work. Additionally, Disney is embracing the same plan for the sword and the stone by also ditching the source material of the original film. New treatments of Madame Mim are also going to be going into full motion in effect. Both of these films are planned to be a reimagining to their original animated iterations. Once, of course, that's much going to be like Snow White. Now, to make these said announcements are also being planned out for D23 to a certain level without release dates. Their upcoming last earnings call will also acknowledge all of these changes up and coming to the general public to be fully understood and how their direction of this new era of live action films are going into full effect as well. Now, we know that there's a lot of things going on with Disney. It's not just the stocks, it's not just the lower attendees visiting the parks and the box office failures, but it's also the top two shareholders, or the top shareholders. To name a few, we got BlackRock and Vanguard. I mean, these are the guys that really want the DEI stuff to continue, and they really are the ones to blame. If you really want to get down to the root of it all, it really is BlackRock and Vanguard at the helm. Now, we know that there are many other board members that are also a part of the problem. And at the end of the day, this is why I always say, I'm not quite sure if Disney could ever reverse the damage that they have done. You know, it's really like an ongoing train wreck that's just going to get worse and worse. And seemingly, they don't care about losing money. They don't care about a loss of revenue. They just want to keep doubling down on these agendas being driven into these franchises and or these live action remakes by Disney, right? So I think that's why at the end of the day, Bob Iger realizes that it's gonna cost them a lot of money, it's gonna lose them customers. That's why he's doing this cost containment plan about spending less and making less and really doubling down on that strategy. We know that the second phase recently got greenlit. We talked about this, of how that's gonna lead to many firings in all areas of Disney. It doesn't matter if it's the parks or the film industry aspect, as well as Disney Plus, you know, television, and the corporate ladder. A lot of things are going to be impacted by this cost-cutting plan that was all a Bob Iger idea, by the way. This is all Iger's plan. The board agreed with it. They love this idea. They doubled down on it, and it's going to really, you know, showcase exactly what's going to go wrong throughout all of next year and beyond. I think it's going to be intriguing to see what's going to happen with the stocks as well for the remainder of this year leading into next, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. So anyway, guys, you know, I would like to hear what you all have to say about what they are doing with the live action remakes, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.